Envizia offers two distinct generation modes within its create functions, each with a specific set of strengths. These are Rendair, the native mode, and Nano Banana 2. In this video, I'll show you exactly when to use each one so you can choose the right tool for the results you're after. While the Create tab includes 6 different functions, 5 of them give you the choice between Rendair and Nano Banana 2. These tools are primarily designed to build brand new scenes from your prompt or source files, though as you'll see, Image to Render also doubles as a powerful way to alter existing work. In general, the Rendair mode is best for novel scene creation, especially when dealing with architecture. So if you're creating a new architectural rendering from a prompt, a sketch, or a 3D image, the Rendair mode will tend to produce more rich, vibrant, and interesting results. Nano Banana 2 is your best choice for altering existing images. Whether you're replacing the fabric on a couch, adding a logo to a product, or adjusting the camera angle of a room, this mode excels at maintaining the integrity of your source. While it isn't as good for novel scene creation, its strength lies in faithfully reproducing the fine details of the images you already have. So one of the things that I mentioned was that when you're generating new novel images, the Rendair mode tends to be better than the Nano Banana mode. And after I show this, then we're going to jump in and look at what Nano Banana is better at. So I put in a sketch here. We're in Sketch to Render, and then I put in the prompt for this house. A very modern house, white walls, and black trim. Now, what Nano Banana 2 gave us as a brand new novel image is a little bit plain, not super interesting. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what Rendair did with these same prompt inputs. It gave us something much more interesting and dynamic as a starting point. So comparing this to what Nano Banana did, you kind of get a sense for what the two do. And this will especially be the case if you're doing interior architectural scenes. Nano Banana 2 will tend to be more mute, less interesting. So now let's jump in and we're going to take a look at the strengths of Nano Banana 2 versus Rendair. So let's come over to the Create menu, and then we'll go to Image to Render. So this is the one mode that can help you alter existing images. So we'll come over to the Add or Drop image, and let's upload an existing image here. So I've got a couch scene. We can take a look at this, and there's a couch, and let's say that I want to test out a different fabric on this particular couch, a pattern, whatever, and that is what Image Render is good for. So we'll go ahead and load that up. And then we'll give it a prompt. Change the fabric of the couch to the reference image. So now we just need to upload the reference image. So we'll scroll down where it says reference image, and let's upload a source tile of the fabric that I've got that looks like this. Okay, so we're going to pull that in, and there we have it. So again, change the fabric of the couch to the reference image. And that's all we need to do. But we need to come up here, and because we're going to be altering an existing image that we primarily want it to maintain, we're going to switch over to Nano Banana 2. It is better in this particular situation than the Rendair model, which is really wanting to try and create an entirely new image from scratch. So we'll select Nano Banana and we will let it generate. And there we go. So it's basically maintained everything else the way it is, and we've just now applied our fabric to the couch. Now, if we want to alter sort of the size scale of the pattern on the couch, then we could put another prompt in there, make the pattern fairly large on the couch, and let's see what that gives us. And there we go. So you can see that the pattern is a little bit larger relative to the couch itself. So that actually works really well. So just for demonstration purposes, let's load in another image of a different couch, like this one right here. So we'll go ahead and load this in, and let's just allow it to operate on that image. So we'll just leave our prompt exactly the way it is and generate. And there we go. So now you can see how easy it is to try out variations on a scene using the Nano Banana mode. So let's take a look at another example where I would choose to use Nano Banana Pro because I'm going to be altering an existing image. So that's the criteria. So we're going to upload a source image that we want to alter. And here is the source image. So let's say I want to change the floor. I want to test out this scene with the different floor. So we load that as our source image. Now we come down here to the reference and we add in our auxiliary image, which is the flooring that we want to try out. Okay, there we go. And then all we have to do is just change our prompt, change the floor to use the reference image. That simple. And then we will generate. Now you'll notice that I hadn't switched over from Rendair to Nano Banana Pro, and Rendair generated a nice image, but it also changed a lot of things that we may not have wanted to change. So that's why I wanted to show you this without having changed. So now we can see what happens when I switch over to Nano Banana Pro so that we can just change the floor, and it will tend to do a better job of leaving everything else untouched. And there we go. So you can see in this particular case, because all I wanted to do was change the floor, using Nano Banana 2 was the best option for this particular situation. For this next example, we're going to switch over to one of the other modes called Sketch to Render, where I'm going to do sort of a product visualization, and we're going to start with Rendair and we're going to end up using Nano Banana. So let's come over here and load a sketch that I've done of a product that I want to try and visualize. So what I have is I've got this sketch of this coffee pitcher, and let's say I wanted to do some branding for a coffee shop that somebody is developing, okay? And we want to put the logo on the side. So we're going to load that up. And I'm going to use Rendair because it tends to produce the most vibrant and interesting imagery when we're creating something from scratch. So let's come in now and give it a prompt. A modern coffee pitcher made of white porcelain. It's on a wooden countertop in a coffee shop. The lid is made of cork and the handle on top of the lid is black leather. Okay, so let's go ahead and generate that using the Rendair mode. And there we go. So I like this. This is good. But now I've got a logo that I want to put on the side of it. I could have put in a prompt to try and generate that from the beginning, but the Rendair function isn't as good as at taking, say, logos and applying them on the side of an object like this. So we're going to now switch over to image to render, and we need to change out so that we're specifically telling this area to reference. So we're going to do a select from a previous creation. We'll pick up this image that we just generated, and we're going to add a new prompt. The reference image is a logo. Add it to the side of the picture, and let's add our logo to this reference area. And you can see that this is the logo that I want to be there. Okay, there we go. Now we just need to switch over explicitly to Nano Banana 2 and then generate. And there we go. So Nano Banana did a really good job of maintaining everything. We can come over here and compare, and you can see with and without our logo. So this two-step process took advantage of the best features of Rendair, producing a really nice environment, and then the best features of Nano Banana 2 to maintain that environment and simply apply the logo. So let's do another example. In this particular case, let's say that we have a room that we want to change the time of day in. So let's come over and load up an image. So we have this image. Let's say that we want it to be a nighttime as opposed to sort of this daytime. Okay, so let's come over and we just need to change over to Nano Banana 2 because it's best at maintaining existing images. And let's put in our prompt. Make this image into a very dark, high contrast night scene with the lamps producing most of the night illumination. The outside is quite dark with a bit of moonlight. I'm going to take up shape strength just a little bit to make sure it really maintains the existing shapes. And color strength is low, which is what we want, and we generate. And there we go. There's our night scene transformed. So here we can see the original. Now we can see the night. So that's pretty cool. Nano Banana 2 is really the best at doing this. So let's do one final thing that Nano Banana 2 is really good at. Let's say that I've got this image and I just want to move the camera in the view. I want to produce a couple of different views. So let's just come down. I've removed the previous prompt and let's put in a new prompt. Move the view to the side of the room and closer to the bed. And then we can click generate. So if you want to produce multiple views like this of a room, use image to render and then Nano Banana 2, and it'll do a really good job of this.